So I want to introduce Dave Rao. I want to start by thanking him as well. He's at the tail end of his 3 years as an EMGA. And Charlie Rogers, welcome Charlie. Charlie is coming in as our EMGA in July. And I want to thank the two of them for hosting tonight. We're going to talk about the endowment and field any questions you might have. If we have any remaining time, we can do just any open conversation as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Dave, and I think we're seeing your screen, Dave.
Okay. Thank you, Sandra. What I really wanted, let me close this thing real quick. What I thought I'd do is basically show you where there's a toolkit for growing the endowment, and that's what you're seeing on my screen right now. And so with that, I was just going to kind of walk you through. Sandra has an email that we just got from Trustee Larry Lunsford today, and on that link, there's a link to what I'm showing you right now. And if Sandra at the end of this could send that out to everybody, even the ones not on this call, that would be, I think, a good thing to do, because it really is, this particular link is for the district foundation chairs. And it's very easy to navigate through, but the very first thing you can see on here is the district guide to growing the endowment. And if you click on that, which I'm going to do, it takes you to this, and it takes you all the different ways to help you go through and work with your club foundation chairs on, and there's presentations and everything that you can go through, and basically what is the endowment, how to raise awareness, promise clubs. A lot of people don't even know what a promise club is. Raise awareness in your district. And so you can see this is a really good guide to help you as the foundation chairs kind of do your job. And it talks really about how to thank donors. You can see here, show appreciation, what can I do next, and different links and everything. So I thought this was like a really good tool for all the foundation chairs, new or old, been doing it for a while, because I think a lot of people don't know this links even exists out there. So so you can you can just, if you have like an iPad, you can click on the link that Sandra will send you, and then you can basically just go back and forth, click on like what you want to open and go back and forth. So if I go back right now to the growing the endowment, then if we scroll down, you can see where it says raise awareness. And it has these different presentations. It has different ads and things you can use that you can publish, brochures, all kinds of different things that are really just there for you to use. And so you can click on any of those. I can't do it right now. I've saved a couple of them that I'm going to click on for you here in a minute. But you can basically do any of these if you want to do. Click on and have these resources really right there for you. And the PowerPoints and things have all scripted and everything. Let me pull up another one here.
Your legacy is Rotary's promise. Making a gift to the Rotary Foundation Endowment is like planting an apple tree that grows to provide fruit year after year, to continue the impact of your annual gifts forever. Rotary is able to protect your legacy by responsibly investing your gift and spending only a portion of the earnings each year, so your gift can grow and provide more to the programs that mean the most to you. Your Rotary legacy is defined by how you want to change the world. Your legacy can be clean water, peaceful resolution to conflict, prevention and treatment of disease, healthy mothers and babies, a chance at an education, a healthier environment, thriving local economies, resources for priorities in your community, or all of these things? Through the power of Rotary. By making a gift to the endowment now, or leaving instructions for a gift to come from your estate in the future, you have the power to shape the future of Rotary and the world. A gift or bequest of $5,000 can continue to provide $200 year after year forever. A gift of $25,000 can provide $1,000 each year forever. Now imagine for a moment what Rotary could do if everyone supported the endowment with you. We can change the future because you have the foresight and dedication to take action today. Plan your gift or include a bequest to Rotary's endowment. We're here to help. The promise of Rotary's tomorrow begins with what you do today. To learn more, visit rotary.org/legacy. Contact your local Rotary office or email plannedgiving@rotary.org. Your legacy is Rotary's promise.
So it's just, that was the video, like your Rotary legacy that I'm showing right now. I just clicked on that, and that's what it brings that video up. So it's something you could use like on a club visit, or if you have some kind of district gathering, maybe show that video and then show a PowerPoint that has the different, it's going to talk more about the endowment and everything. So you have this raise awareness and all these tools right here. And then you have about the Promise Club, which is basically trying to get every Rotarian in a club to do a bequest, $1,000 bequest. And if they 100% does, then they become a Promise Club. And again, you can see the tools that are here that you can use to promote the Promise Club. And then down a little bit further, it's encourage gifts or commitments to the endowment. There's a newsletter, there's consult this tool, return your legacy notification form, present life income agreements, donor advised funds, and endowment fund share graphic. So again, all these different tools that you have, and I don't know if any of you been using this particular site on Rotary.org for this? Bruce, have you?
Have I used this particular site?
Yes, and this particular tool that has all these different tools to help you do your job.
Oh yeah, we did that one when we had the meeting when we were calling around and trying to raise money for the endowment. Rich pulled this up and we all had a meeting on this and we started using it. That's when we raised 435,000, I think, 425,000. And I think we had 19 people making calls. It worked.
Yeah, and so basically, again, this is I think a lot of people don't know this particular site's out there and a tool for all of us to use. And this is just one of the other ones I'd clicked on, Endowment Fund Share, how that works. And a lot of people don't realize that if you give money to the Endowment Fund Share, then it's the same as DDF. 50% of that money comes back. The principal is invested, spendable earnings calculated and distributed. Part of it goes to the World Fund, and then the other half comes back to the district as the DDF. And I think that's a huge message to get out there to everybody, because having that ability to understand that a lot of people think you give money to the endowment, which is forever, that you're not getting anything yourself back in return. But if they know they can get this money back through share, I think that's very important, that it's coming back to the district. And I think most of you have been trained to look at your reports to see how much money the district is getting back in the endowment fund area. And I think we showed those in Jacksonville, how to see that information. So I think it's really a real important tool to be able to have, to go out there and to show individuals how this comes back to the district. And so I didn't have on my, you know, if you do this like on an iPad, you can just click on these and then you can just hit back. And, but I'm on my laptop right now, and because we couldn't get it to work on the iPad right. So I just opened up a few of these and saved them so I could show them to you. There's a PowerPoint is, again, it was right there. It shows, you know, right, the PowerPoint shows you right there. And I was just going to show you this real quick. It has all, you know, it has the whole thing about the endowment fund. And it has your script with it as well. And that is a really good slide here to show you a $25,000 gift. You know, how the money's grown and how they've been giving, you know, the percentage of that comes off the spendable each year, which is around 4% or so. So again,
Dave, are you in the endowment PowerPoint? Because that might be a different tab on your, we can just see the raise awareness bar.
oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I hit the PowerPoint on my, and so
You need to share it.
You need to go back and stop sharing and then reshare the PowerPoint. Because it must have been a different pop-up.
yeah, it was. Go back. Stop here. Go back to here. Here. Now, can you see it?
Now we can see it.
Okay. So again, this was just one of those different, you know, tools that are available on this particular Growing the Endowment Fund site that you got a whole PowerPoint here, that, you know, it's all scripted. You can see, you know, the scripts right there below. You know, if you know PowerPoint, you can, you know, get the script off there. But I just wanted to show you that this is available out there, to you. And so you already have a full presentation about the endowment fund. And so again, these are just all these different tools that we have available to us that are real easy at our fingertips. And if you're definitely new, the guide to growing your endowment, I would really suggest you go through that and make sure if you don't have one, you know, appoint a chair to help you with the major gift side of things. And let me go back and we'll stop this and go back to share.
While you're doing that, Dave, just a couple of things to comment on. He's talking about the Promise Club. And someone asked me probably a month or so ago how many Promise Clubs were in North America. And I asked, and there are none, not even one. So if you have a club that's interested in that, they could be the first in North America. And it is something that is probably easier with a smaller club than a larger one. But, you know, it is definitely a worthwhile effort. I think the only other comment I would have too is when you're talking with people about the endowment, make sure they understand it's more of a long-term investment. Where many of us are used to giving and it's there right then. And it's a savings account and it is a long-term investment. So those spendable earnings, if you give 25,000, it may be 1,000, but again, it's going to be divided between DDF for the district and the World Fund. So they're not going to be seeing 25,000 in the endowment on the report. It's going to be 1,000 or 500 that first year. So it is going to be smaller. And I'm not sure exactly where the years start, Dave. You know all that detail, but a lot of times people give 25,000 and they think, oh, it's going to be huge. But it starts out small and over time it grows.
And also that DDF comes back immediately. You don't wait 3 years.
Right. And it doesn't age either. It doesn't age out.
Right. So that's really kind of all I had today. And I'll just turn it over and back to you, Sandra. And Charlie, you have anything to add?
No, I think that's good. 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 I think that's
The only other thing I have to add is that the district can also be a donor to the endowment. You can transfer DDF to the endowment share, and the spendable earnings will come back as DDF that is not restricted to aging. But again, it's a long-term investment, so it comes back in smaller chunks and builds over time.
I think my only comment is we spend a lot of time with our Rotarians talking about the annual fund and polio, and I think most Rotarians understand that. Unfortunately, I think very few of our Rotarians even know we have an endowment, how it works, or what's involved. I know in District 6950, we generate over $20,000 a year from money that has been invested in the district endowment that we get every year to use as DDF. So I really think there's a great opportunity to share this tool that Dave just shared with y'all and talk up the endowment, because most Rotarians don't know it exists. They don't understand it. And I think we could do a much better job of informing our Rotarians about a legacy, both for us personally and for our clubs and district.
Yeah. So we've been talking about endowment share. We can certainly go into any area of focus for the endowment. It doesn't come back in CDF. Can be polio. I mean, it can be a lot of things. It just, it's a very, very broad tool that we have to ensure that our foundation has the funds it needs into the future.
You know, another point to bring up, Sandra, a lot of our Rotarians now are aging up, and we have the required minimum distributions. And unfortunately, a lot of our members are taking that required minimum distribution in cash and then donating it, but they're paying taxes on it.
Right.
You can arrange to have your required minimum distribution directly sent to the Rotary Foundation, and there's no taxation at all. So that's
it doesn't ever show up in your income to be taxed.
Plus, it doesn't have to be just cash. It can be real estate. There's a lot of different things. We have annuities and life contracts. There's opportunities that people can still make donations, but get annual or quarterly payments back for their investments. So anything Dave and I can do to work with any of your members within your club that have questions on the endowment or want to make a legacy gift of anything over $10,000, we'd be happy to talk to them.
Yeah. Now, do you also work with the people that want to do a pledge for 10,000?
Yeah, I mean, we work with anybody that's wanting to do some type of major gift, and there is the pledge ability out there. I mean, Cindy, do you know about pledges and those things?
I'm learning. Well, I did know a little bit about it. I've learned more in the last 2 years because of listening to it. In fact, our district, from what I understand, did not understand much of the endowment process until Michael brought it to the finance committee to say, you have this money available in the, that comes back to your club. And since then, they've gone crazy trying to spend it. So, so I said, well, that's a good reason to try to donate to the endowment, because that's money coming from the endowment that they didn't know. They didn't, well, I should say they didn't understand it until now.
Yeah. Good.
Well, and it is a good tool also. I know some of the folks in the islands don't have that minimum required distribution and all the tax things that we have in the US. But for somebody who wants to make sure they leave a legacy for a long period of time, giving to the endowment will really help to do that. And I think, the fact that they can see some of it coming back to their district in their lifetime is also a good thing.
We took the list, Cindy, we took the list of the benefactors, and we started calling them all. And it was, what we were shocked about is how many people did not have codicil wills, but in their own will, they had the Rotary Foundation. And so when we sent them the applications, they filled out and we sent it to RI. And it was amazing. We had one gentleman that had done $150,000. We did not know it. He already had it in his will. So we just sent him the codicil, filled it out, and then we sent it in to RI. That's actually how we got that $400,000 because we were just calling benefactors. And it was amazing. If they'll give 1,000, they're probably going to give more, or they've already thought about it and have it in their will, but we don't know about it.
Okay.
It doesn't do any good if we don't know about it.
Well, the other people too are the ones that are Paul Harris Society members because they're giving 1,000.
Mhm.
If they realize that they put 25,000 in, that spins off spendable earnings of about 1,000 a year. So it's a bequest, but it's, after their death, it would still spin off that $1,000.
Mhm.
So they become a Paul Harris Fellow even after their life is ended.
Right.
And the Paul Harris Fellows are ones to really look at too, if kind of what Sandra's saying as far as being, joining the Bequest Society, because they've already bought into the foundation. So this way they can help leave a legacy.
Yeah, we found another thing that came out of that little thing we did with 19 people is we found out that the people that had given bequests, and we called them up to see if they'd give more or benefactors, and they were in the clubs and we're in the district, and they felt kind of privileged that we were calling them. It's kind of like they were special, and we did not think about that whatsoever. And that helps generate more money, whether maybe it didn't go to the another benefactor, maybe didn't go to bequest, but they may give more to annual fund or something, but they felt special, which we were not expecting that.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Any other new foundation cares on?
Is that?
I don't think so. We do have this recorded, so I'll send it out to the whole group.
Sandra, if you could send out Larry's email or at least that
I
link.
will. Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So we still need some funds for the endowment challenge for 2025. We are halfway through the calendar year of 2025, and it's never too late to give to the endowment. So, anything we can do to encourage people to give is definitely worthwhile. We have, I think the information that's in that email was through April, and we have still a significant chunk to go, but we also still had May and June. And a lot of times people will make donations in May and June, so it's a little heavier months of the year. Does anyone have any other questions? Any topic at all that you have a question about or a burning interest in discussing?
Sandra, if I could, I'd like to echo what you said earlier. We really owe Dave a round of gratitude for the last 3 years of service that he's given to our zone. And they're big shoes to fill, but I just want all the representatives here to know I'm going to step in and try to do the same job that Dave's done successfully over the last 3 years. I'm more than happy to come to any events that your district's holding foundation-wise, especially if it's orientated towards endowment, major gifts, or things like that. If I could work with you or any of your individuals, a phone call or text away, just reach out and we'll be there for you.
Yeah, Charlie's polishing up those big shoes of yours, right, Charlie? And Dave, thank you so much for 3 years. I know I can say personally, I've called you with questions of my own, and you've always been so easy to understand when you explain the things that are, at first blush, very complex about the foundation. So thank you very much. And Charlie, we're excited that you'll be starting soon, and I know you'll do just as good a job.
And I promised Charlie that I would still kind of stay on board with him since we still don't have a replacement for Deborah.
Mhm.
So And if any of you have anybody that's talking about a major gift, then please call Charlie or myself, and we'll help them work through that with you.
Yeah, I have found Kevin to be very responsive too.
Mhm.
So please, feel free to give him an email if you need to.
I have a question
Mhm.
to Charlie and Dave, really, I guess. I think some of you know we did a legacy dinner, or $1 million dinner, we call it. I know the preferences, we changed that nomenclature last year, and it was a success, but a lot of that came from people becoming Request Society members.
Mhm.
So in other words, the endowment fund. And out of it came the resolve for others in the district to do the same thing. So there's one in Cayman coming up in November the 22nd to be exact. And for all of you will be the first to hear this. We're going to do one in my year as district governor. It will close the conference. Will actually be the legacy dinner. So the reason I'm bringing it up is that to your point, Charlie, about helping out with these things and making people understand it better. I mean, I was a major gifts chair for the 70/20. It seems like 100 years ago, but it was at least 10. And I got people to join the Bequest Society, but that's one-off sort of a thing. And then 5 years go by and nobody does anything, once you've demitted office. So I'm just wondering if there's a way to try and prepare people for this. If we're going to be doing these types of events and we want them to be successful, and they're pre-loaded, if you like, on the benefits of leaving money to the foundation, to the endowment fund, then it can help make the event a success as well.
Lindsay, I'll be happy to talk to you more offline. One thing that I know has been done in the past very successfully is what they call little fireside chats,
Yes.
where either the foundation chair or the governor-elect, whatever, will get together with maybe 6 or 7 couples at somebody's house and kind of informal talking about legacy gifts and things like that, and just giving out information. So there's a lot of different tools that we can work with you and the people in Zone 70/20 on, and I'd be happy to follow up with you on any of that.
Great. Appreciate it.
Lindsay, I'd also suggest that you look at the different strategies. Like, we talked about the Paul Harris Society to bequest, but
Yep.
there's other strategies too to get folks that are likely to want to buy into a certain a different level or a certain type of investment in the foundation.
Right.
And Charlie will have a lot of that information as well. And I would also say, once you have one that you get spillover into the next few years, for example, 70/20 is now in the top 5 in annual fund giving for our zone. I don't know if you realize that. You were not in the top 5 before.
I know.
And
Yes.
so, there's things happening, and you're also in the top 5 for polio. The same top 5 are polio and annual fund, which is interesting to me because they're 2 different funds and it's
Right.
the same top 5 districts. But you're in there. And I think if you, as long as you give a few years in between, which I think you're talking about doing, then to do it again, you have those people who gave the first time who can be good spokespersons for you.
Right.
Because it's very helpful in those fireside chats to have somebody say, well, I was giving as a Paul Harris Fellow, and then I realized if I gave as a bequest and I gave to the endowment, here's what happened, and this is the legacy I wanted to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very powerful to have somebody who gave talk about why they gave and how they gave and what their thought process was.
Sandra, Sean Petty just put in the chat, what about something like a Zone 3334 Endowment Day campaign where Zone 3334 RRFC teams, including the EMGA, select a specific recurring date designated specifically for the endowment? He posted that in the chat.
So more like a virtual gala where you've got a certain, that's usually about a 6 to 12, sometimes even 18 months thing, but yeah, that would be interesting. It would be interesting if all the DRFCs kind of got together and said, hey, listen, this is what we're going to do. Let's pick a date, the zone can promote it and help with it. And yeah, it would be interesting.
We do World Polio Day. It works.
Yeah, it's World
that's
Endowment Day, Rotary Endowment Day. Yeah.
Something else to think about. Recognition is so easy to do, and it's basically free to do. When you have any type of district meeting, you may want to think about having your legacy donors or your AKS or your major donors have seating up in the front, reserve seating. And people are going to say, well, how come they get to sit up there? And you say, well, stroke us a check and we'll have seats up there for you as well. People like to be included. We tried that a couple of years ago at our Zone Summit, where we had a AKS and Legacy Lounge. And I can't tell you how many Rotarians came by and said, well, I'm a major donor. How come I'm not in there? And we explained what AKS and Legacy is. And we've had some people step up and say, well, if that's all it takes, count me in. So something to think about. People always like to be recognized, and sitting up front is easy recognition, something to think about.
Yeah.
Charlie, I did that, and that worked for a district, and we got $95,000 for polio from a district that had never given NDDF before. So it does work.
All kinds of good ideas.
Well, and that's the purpose of these meetings too, is to share things that are working in other districts that we can duplicate. Plagiarism's the highest form of flattery. If it works in one district, it should be able to work in other districts. We just need to share our successes.
Yeah, the old R&D, rip off and duplicate, right? Well, and I know, the other group that I always feel for are the people that are young, newly starting out. They would like to support, but they think they need that huge gift in order to be supportive, and they really don't. The younger folks can perhaps get a life insurance policy that they donate to the Rotary Foundation. We hope they don't need it very soon, but it's there, and that can be part of their legacy gift. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done with younger members that are very focused on spending their funds on kids and, getting going in their careers and things like that. So we don't want to forget them as well.
Any other questions anybody has?
Okay. I think we're all set then. Thank you very much, everyone who attended. I do have this recorded, so I'll send it out to everyone just as soon as we end the call here. But appreciate everybody's support. Appreciate all your hard work. Our zone, by the way, total giving is very close to 10 million, and that's for April. So we still have May and June to add. And I can tell you, this is the end of my term as well, but I can tell you that when I started, we were hoping for between 5 and 6 million total giving. So we are doing tremendously well. And a good part of our success this year is through legacy dinners. So appreciate everybody's effort on that and everything else.
Great.
It's we're doing really well. I'm really proud of our zone.
Terrific.
So thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Calgary.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we'll see you in Calgary. Yes. Everybody with the white hat. I heard somewhere that that they were telling people to go find the white hat to ask questions about where everything is. there's going to be so many white hats. It will be really interesting to see how that works.
Yeah.
But
And they're pushing you buying one. You can order
they're
it
pushing the selling the white hats.
$35
That's
whatever,
right. That's right.
which would be
But take care.
would take up too much room in my luggage. That's the problem.
Yeah, we'll look for everybody in Calgary. Take care.
All righty, take care.